down at Farlows Lake today. I've been watching some of the social media stuff and seen some of the lovely dark scaly mirrors that it's been producing, so I just had to come down to have a go. I'm on Lake 2, I'm going to have a walk around and see if I can find some carp. Just done a couple of laps of the lake. I've seen a few fish out in the main area of the lake, so I'm going to head back to the van, get a bag of riser pellet and some mixers, spawn a few out, see if I can get them taken and hopefully nick a bite off the top just before it gets dark. I flicked a load of riser pellet out and mixers, but they don't seem to be having it off the surface. So I'm going to change tactics a little bit. I'm going to tie up a couple of zigs, try the mid layers. If that doesn't work, then I'm going to switch on to the bottom, have a go on that this evening. But fingers crossed, have a go on the zigs first, and then we go from there. Right, so the wind's changed direction. It's now blowing down onto the other bank where I was earlier spotting riser pellet out. We've had the zigs out for an hour now. It's been a bit quiet, so I think we're going to move down here for the night. The wind's blowing down here. It looks good in the margins. So I'm going to tie up some bottom rigs and try and find a few spots for the night. Morning. It's a bit of a quiet night last night for me. I went for the all boilie approach last night. It doesn't seem to have paid off, so I've switched up a little bit. I've tied up some solid bags and I'm going to start chucking them at showing fish. The reason I've changed my tactic to a solid bag is because I'm not quite sure what the bottom's like where they're showing. So it could be weed, it could be silt, but I know I've got a very good chance of presenting my bait properly with a solid bag. Let's tie them up and see if I can catch one for you. Hopefully it's one of those nice dark Farlows mirrors, which is why I'm here. The tactic change has finally paid off. After quite a few tench and bream, I've had to work quite hard for it. It's finally paid dividends, and this is the result, my first Farlows scaly mirror. Let's get the rods back out. Second fish on the solid bags. This one showed just out to the left. Quickly wound one in, tied a new bag, and it went off within minutes of it being out there. Surprised the bag even melted. One of the smaller ones from the lake, but who cares when they look like this. Better get some more bags tied up. I've managed to find 2 minutes while all 3 rods are out to take you through the pellets that I've been using in my solid bags. So basically it's the small pellet mix from Nash, and it's a mixture of all different kinds of pellets, different oil levels, different protein levels, and different sizes as well. They've all got different levels of breakdown, and it gives off loads of attraction as the bag melts. Inside that, I like to have a little citrus pink pop-up which has been whittled down just for the visual aspect. Finally, I like to inject the bag with some oil, which again adds to the attraction of the little parcel of food. It pulls it up all through the layers, and quite often on warm days it'll pull the fish down to where your bait is. That's the bait. I'm going to tie one up and get one back out. Well, I've had a few nice mirrors now from Farlows, but this looks like it's a common. Better fish as well. Lovely. First common of the trip as well. Went a bit quiet on the usual spots that I've been catching them from. So move the rod to the right a little bit closer to the island, just up on top of the shelf. It's warmed up a little bit, and I think they've pushed up into the layers. Almost instantly it rattled off. The move worked. Let's try and catch another one. I've just had that carp, and shortly after both of my other rods have gone as well. Unfortunately both of them were bream, but while all my rods are out of the water, I'm going to take 2 minutes out to talk to you about location. Now obviously location's a massively important thing with carp fishing, and when I got here yesterday I had a quick walk around Lake 2, and I've chosen peg number 11. The wind's blowing in here, it's a nice warm wind, and it was evident as soon as I got here there was fish here. They were crashing out, and there wasn't any other area which I really fancied. So there's also this right hand bank here. There's no anglers on it at all, so there's no angling pressure or lines coming off of there. There's a nice island out to the right which looks really carpy, nice branches coming off of it, and I'm sure they hold around that island. So the first thing I did when I come round to the swim yesterday was get my marker float set up. I had a quick cast around in the swim to see if there was any obvious areas which I should be fishing. I was fortunate enough that the bailiff come round just as I arrived here, and I picked his brains. That's one thing that's always very important. Try to get as much local knowledge as you can on a venue, because they're here every day, you know, it's their job, and they want you to catch at the end of the day as well. So try and get as much information out of them as possible. He actually put me on one spot which is actually straight out at the 3 big trees on the back there. It's about 16 wraps out, and it's 2 big gravel humps, and it comes up from about 8 foot up to about 4 or 5 foot. I've actually had 2 of my fish today off of those humps, so it's always worth having a chat with the bailiff. There we are, another very lively Farlows mirror. So it's the end of a hectic day. Caught loads of bream, loads of tench, and a load of carp as well. The wind's calmed down and the sun's going down. The water's gone all nice and calm. So I'm going to sit back, tuck into a Chinese with the lads, and see if I can see any final movements of fish before I hit the sack.
So it's come to the end of my 36-hour session on Farlows. We've had a brilliant time, caught some lovely fish. I did switch up the tactics again last night and tried to have a go for one of the bigger ones in here. Unfortunately it didn't work, caught a couple of bream, but yeah, it's very important just to sort of note about the different tactics and methods, which is very important. Started on floater fishing, then I tried on zigs. They just weren't having it on either. Then we moved over and I went for the all boilie approach the first night. Again, I had a couple of bream, but no real action. First thing in the morning I switched up to the solid PVA bag approach with the pellets. Straight away it was evident that was definitely the way to catch him in here. The rods just did not stop going. I think I tied 50 bags in 6 hours or something. But yeah, I'm gonna get my rods in and head back to Bristol.